So eloquently said, I am a piece of work. You laugh, and you should, because piece of work has kind of a negative connotation these days. People use piece of work as that kind of over-the-top person that is a little bit much to handle sometimes. I'm that way too, but that's not what I'm talking about today. I have literally turned myself into a living, breathing, walking piece of art. You would never know it. You can't see any of it. But I am actually pretty covered in tattoos. I am one of those people that all of my tattoos have a story that I can drag on and on and on and on about. I'm not going to bore you with all of the details or all of the tattoos, but I've picked a few that I think you should know about to know a little bit more about me. I'll start with my first tattoo. When I was in college, my freshman year, I went to Little Rock, Arkansas to visit my best friend from middle school. She was in the Air Force. And we had a great week together. I came back. I stomped up to my mechanic and said, "Fix my car, I'm leaving in a week." I left for Little Rock because I was escaping a pretty bad relationship that I wasn't emotionally ready to end. So on my journey, my friend said, "When you get down here, we're getting matching tattoos." She didn't care what the heck they were. So I started doing all sorts of, what do I want? What am I going to get? I don't want just some Tweety bird on my hip. That's just ridiculous. So I searched and I searched and I searched. I came across the nautical star. It's the sailor star. It's a 10-point star, 2 different colors. I really don't have no connection to the sea. I'm not a sailor. My family's not a sailor. But there's a variation of this star. It's the typical 5-point star with 2 colors that so many people have. And that deterred me until I found out more what it was about. This 5-point star is the working class star. I have worked my butt off since I was 14. I worked in my grandfather's restaurant. To this day, I still have 3 jobs. So the working class star really hit home for me. And ultimately, one day I would like to be a little bit above working class. So I figured getting that star would help remind me and humble me later on where I came from and what my roots were. So that is how the story of my journey and my piece of work started. Sometime down the road, it was time for another tattoo, because at that point I was addicted. And I wanted something at that point that would really connect me. I'm an up and go person. I just up and moved here to Colorado. I up and moved to Arkansas for the summer. I wanted something to really remind me that I would always be able to find my way back home. And somehow I managed to go back to the sailors. And the birds that the sailors would always look for to find their way back to sea were sparrows. And so there's a lot of meaning behind sparrows just besides that. But I have them on my feet to help me remind myself that I'll always be able to walk back home. And there are 2 different colors. One's the sunrise and one's the sunset, to remind myself that no matter how good things get or how bad things get, there's always another side to even it out. And ultimately, besides that, the sparrows are also an embodiment of spirits. I grew up with 2 amazing great-grandmothers in my life who practically raised us. So that was my dedication to them. As much as my great-grandmother Mary would kick my butt for it, I put them on my body. And I have one more that I want to tell you about. And this one is my personal favorite tattoo. It is also a tattoo just for me. Even in a bathing suit, you can't see my tattoo. And it's my life motto. It says, "Live free, no regrets." I like to think that I really, really live by that motto. I've made a lot of decisions that most people might look at and go, But ultimately, I put a smile on my face and chalk it up to that's who I am now and that's who I am today. So the funny thing about that is it's right by my heart. So I listen to it, I look at it every day, and I take it in, and I remember who I am, and where I've come from, and where I'm going. The funny part is I'm dyslexic. So I have a mirror image, so I read it in the mirror, but anybody that looks at me sees it backwards. So it's got a little funny joke to me. But those are a few of my tattoos that can give you a hopefully nice little insight to my affable personality and where I've come from and where I'm heading. Thank you very much.